Welcome to My Life on Paper. I'm Brianna, and welcome to May I Scraplift You, which is a collaboration started by Crystal from Pineapple Papers. And today I am scraplifting Deb Tallbroad. She is on Instagram. I'll have her linked below, and she did a double page layout from a sketch she did from Christy's Beautiful Life in her 30 Days of Sketches, Day 9, which was done by Cindy Brown. You can see I pulled out two different papers here. I was trying to decide, and my stickers, which are gold. I was going with her layout. So I found these beautiful things. I wasn't sure if I should have picked the left or the right, but the left with the purples and the blues was more softer, not the harsh lines of the green and the blue. So I did go with the blue and the purple. And when I trim these down, I'm really trying to stay away from the purple a little bit. I want as much blue as I can get out of those papers. You're totally going to see the purple at the end, and it totally goes with the pictures, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you for Deb for allowing me to lift your scrapbook layout. It is a simple layout. You will see here that I am using my, I think it's an EK Success Punch, but it's the waves. And I wasn't going to be so obvious and go with my wave punch. Deb used a nice, I don't know what you would call it, maybe scroll. I don't know what you would call it, but she used a different type border, but because we're on the water, I went with the waves, and I'm glad I did. It's not every day you can pull out your wave border and it looks so beautiful. So this worked really well. I do make some mistakes with trimming. You'll see that in a moment. I start off with a 12 by 12 paper. I trimmed these the waves right on the paper, and then I go and trim them down. Wouldn't matter whichever way you're doing it, because either way the page, you can tell that the papers are an inch thick, because the top of the wave would hit the top of the paper kind of thing. So you can see where I make a mistake there, but then I go to trim them down and I can trim that piece right off. The issue is I didn't do math correctly. So we're gonna have, and I have to think hard of what the math was, but on each side you have a 6-inch photo all the way across. Plus you're going to have a 4-inch photo, or you're going to have a 2-inch part of the photo and a 2-inch piece of pattern paper. So here I'm trimming down that 2 by 4-inch paper. But when I went to trim the borders that'll go around, instead of trimming them 10 inches, I do believe I trimmed them 8 inches. Oh, here's another thing I did wrong. It was a happy accident. So I picked that picture because I was going to put it up there, but then I realized the 2 inches has to go on that side and the 4 inches has to go on the other. And if I had kept the boat there, the boat was going to get sliced in half. And that's why it was on the bottom the way it was, if that makes sense. So I just switched my photos around a little bit, and that is okay. I do believe this picture here that I'm putting at the top is like when we took off from the deck, so I think that works pretty darn well. And then I think next is where I'm going to cut this too short. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought I had it correctly. And as soon as I lay it up there, I go, wait, what? Wait, is it a different size on the right side as it is on the left side? No, they're just and I'm like, what the heck? You can see my hands going, oh man. So this time I did cut it the correct size. And I did think about piecing those pieces together. And you know what? I totally could have, and it totally would have been okay. In fact, you'll see I bring that blue piece over the blue wave, the little 3 waves. I'll bring it over to the other side to see how it looks next to the blue piece of the paper, I think. But in the end, I redo it because I didn't absolutely love it. There I go. Can I get away with it? I could have gotten away with it, but there we go. So then now that I know that it is 10 inches, I can safely cut all my other pieces 10 inches, which I do with my trimmer. And I don't know if you guys do this, but I use it upside down. I am not left-handed, I am right-handed, but it works really. I've always done this since I started scrapbooking in 2000, used my trimmer upside down. So here, what am I going to do with the rest of that paper? Is it that I'm going to use it for make another wave, I think. Yep, there I go. I was going to cut this out, and I'm not exactly sure why I did, but here we go. These punches are super easy to use. They line up so nicely, and it's just a nice crisp cut through it. I really like using these types of punches, and I love using my Cricut, but when it comes to borders, it's like faster and like to get out my punches, because I think there's too many options on Cricut. I could sit all day just looking for a certain design, which I don't even know what I'm looking for, and any one of them would have been fine. Does that make sense? I have too many options, so I love using my borders. I don't have a lot of punches, but I do have border punches. You can see on the original that Deb used, it looks like washi tape. Maybe she didn't, but so I'm looking for a washi tape to go with this. And I did, again, I don't want to go purple. I want to go more blue. And the purples are the blue seems too blue. The purples seem to kind of match it better. And the one that matched the best was this teeny tiny thin piece, which I should have still probably put on the layout, but I didn't like the size of it for going the border around like Deb has it. So I do eventually decide, hey, I'm going to use gold lettering. What if I use gold for that washi? And so I have a couple different golds, and I pull them out. In fact, I have two different golds that look pretty similar, but one only had just a little bit on the roll. And then I'm telling you, I like to look at all my options. It takes me a while. I think it was this one that only had a little bit on the roll. So then I have this other one that is ready to go. So I make sure it's the same kind of gold as it is in the letters, and it is. So I'll put my washi away, and then I think I will glue everything down to get it right where I want it before I start putting the washi down. So I'll take my ATG glue, and I get my refills from Tape Jungle. I don't know if I've kind of ever said this, but tapejungle.com is where I get my refills. They're really inexpensive. They work super really good. I don't use the kind that comes the Scotch brand. I've never used that. I just use the Tape Jungle ones, and they do run sales. So usually, like, I don't know if it's National Scrapbook Day, but it certainly is like Mother's Day around in there, and probably Black Friday. So watch for that. But they do have really good prices anyway. You can get a whole bunch at a time. So okay, so these are really forgiving, this layout, in that, if one isn't cut exactly, one photo isn't cut exactly, I tuck it up underneath the other pictures to make them all line up, because it is hard to, when you're trimming anything 4x6 or 4x4 or 2x4, to get them all exactly the same. So these pictures helped with that, because nothing I was tucking, I wasn't losing any of the picture. Then I'll get that bottom strip down there, and this one I didn't use many embellishments on it. I followed Deb's layout pretty close, but I think with a few things on there, art is very impactful. Even especially the choice of the pattern paper is just so fun. Here I did overlap just a little bit, so I just want to trim this off the edge of the page just a little bit. So once I get that side lined up, now I do use three ring binders, and people say, well, that doesn't really line up. But to me, even though they're not exactly side by side in my album, they're still side by side in my album. So I do like them lined up. And that's the other thing too. If this isn't lined up exactly with the left-hand side of the page, there's those rings in the middle, so you're not gonna see it. And these pictures too, the ones that I sliced, there's no people. It's very easy to put one side of the picture on one layout, and then the rest of the picture on the other side of the layout. So very easy to do when you have like landscape type photographs. These pictures, I'm telling you, just worked perfectly for this layout of Deb's. So make sure you check out Deb on Instagram. Make sure also that you check out everybody that's playing along with May I Scraplift You. They will all be listed below, and you can check them out and see what they're doing this month. Here I'm going to get that last piece down on the bottom, and I'm really liking how this comes together, even though there's a lot of purple. Well, I mean, purple might be my favorite color, so again, it's not a bad thing. So here I will go into these stickers. I got these at Peachy Cheap, from Peachy Cheap. That's an online, every day they have a different deal, and sometimes they sell out, but if you go to peachycheap.com, this particular sale was a whole bunch of like puffy stickers that were like title bits. So so then I had these stickers, and the Beautiful Day is a nod to Deb's title, which is Lovely Day. So I'm not titles, I'm super obvious with titles on the ferry, but you know, Beautiful Day was a great description. I think it's a great title. And on that pattern paper, that 2x4 block of paper up in the left is a good place where I can journal our trip on the ferry. So that's pretty cool. These stickers are American Crafts, and they are stuck to the back of the paper, so I do have to individually peel off each backing after I peel it off the backing, if that makes sense. And the weird thing is like, I'm not sure why I felt the need to go backwards with this. Honestly, I think I should have went forwards with it, but I didn't. So I decided to go backwards with it. It was a spacing thing, but honestly, it was more apt to not get it spaced on my paper going this way than if I just went straight forward. So the eye didn't have any stick to it, or the dot of the eye didn't have any stick to it, so I did just use my glue for that. Going back to the border punches, I should count mine up. I have a whole bunch. I have them nice and organized, and I don't use them as much as I should, but can I say that about all of my scrapbook supplies, right? That's why I keep saying, come on over, guys, like, scrapbook with me. I have enough supplies for everybody. I do have them contained. I've got 2 IKEA cabinets in my finished basement, and I have taken over part of the finished basement to do my scrapbooking in. So I have a like old kitchen table here and room for people to scrapbook with me. Oh, here I go with the washi tape. So this is a really easy thing. I think that has a lot of impact. So I just eyeball this up and try to go with how I did the first one on the right there, as far as to how to put space, the white space up against the end of the layout. So it's this beautiful yellow, gold washi that goes around 4 sides of the layout, and I just wrap it around the back. And this washi tape isn't super sticky, but that's okay. It stays in place, and this will be in a page protector where it'll keep it protected. So we're getting close to the end here, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Make sure you check below to see everybody that is playing along with May I Scraplift You, and have a wonderful day.